Hey YouTubers, surprise, surprise, they confirmed the Season 4 villain is going to be DeVoe the Thinker, so we gotta freak out about this. I changed the audio just a little bit, so let me know if you think the audio on this video sounds better than the previous videos that I've done. But there's a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So surprise or not surprise, I guess, DeVoe seems like he's going to be the main villain. TV Line was reporting that it was a done deal. Andrew Kreisberg said way back during PaleyFest, yeah, we've already decided we're not going to do a speedster as the main villain for Season 4. It will very literally blow the Flash's mind. Like, you've probably seen me use this picture in my Flash videos before. The Thinker is a mind control villain. He uses technology for mind control and telekinesis. So this is obviously from the Geoff Johns era, but he debuted way back in All Flash during the 1940s. So this is the classic version of DeVoe. Double bonus, this was during the Jay Garrick era, so hopefully they'll find some really cool Jay Garrick stories to tell. I think they had a couple of cool moments with him this past season, but I was a little disappointed we didn't see him even more. So obviously this story is more of like a crime thriller. That's what a lot of the Batman stories were when they first started. It was just a lot of Dick Tracy style detective stories. So you have Jay Garrick here trying to foil these mobsters. He sends one of them to jail. The other mobsters say, "We've got somebody who can quash that. DeVoe, he'll get rid of that confession." So obviously very, very different from the Geoff Johns version. Like the way they did with Abracadabra, it'll be a more contemporary looking version with a lot of flair and verbal references for the really classic silly stuff. So I'm not expecting him to walk in looking like he came right out of the Ghostbusters movie, but there have been a couple different ways that they've used him in the comics. But he did show up with the Suicide Squad. He actually tried to organize a big prison break in the classic comics. There's just a lot of stories he's been involved with that share things in common with what the Flash has been doing the last season, setting things up for next year. That Gorilla Grodd version of the Suicide Squad, he was in Belle Rev with the Suicide Squad back during the New 52. Now the difference with this version is that his intellect is actually sapping his age, like it's literally eating himself alive. So he's like this 25-year-old kid in the body of an old man. So I'm just expecting some middle ground. Like, I don't think he's going to walk into Season 4 with a bunch of things sticking out of his head. Maybe by the end of the season, they do some pretty crazy stuff. But if they didn't give Abracadabra like the full-on top hat, then I'm not expecting them to do that with the Thinker either. Just because they always borrow so much stuff from Geoff Johns' era on The Flash. If you want to read a really good story with him, start with Flash Volume 2, number 183, that goes through 191. It's just called Flash Crossfire. It was his fourth big arc, so there would probably be some big changes from this, but I do love the way it plays out, because you have a version of Clifford DeVoe, like he tells his backstory here when he's talking to the Wally West version of the Flash. Remember, most of Geoff Johns' run was with the Wally West Flash before he brought him back during Rebirth in 2009. So this is all happening way back in 2002, but he takes over all of Keystone City and sort of plugs himself into everyone because he's trying to expand his mind. So the Flash makes a deal with him. You can plug into my mind. The world's fastest data processor is the Flash's brain. So that is what this iconic image that you keep seeing is. It's the Flash who's been taken over with the mind of DeVoe, but he's kind of doing this to everyone in Keystone City, and that's why Wally makes this bargain with him. This is where it starts to get weird. So all the rogues of Keystone City come to face the Thinker. He turns his army of mind control followers on them, but they're able to get the Flash away, so he's not being mind controlled anymore. And what Wally does in order to defeat him, you've seen how Barry can take in information at super speed and hold on to it for about a half hour at a time. So Wally uses his ability to draw the Thinker into his mind and defeat him in his own territory. And this is where it gets really cool. It basically turns into an episode of The Matrix. So like I said, this issue was around 2002. Geoff Johns probably went to the movie theater in '99, saw The Matrix, and was like, hey, wait a minute, that'd be pretty badass if I could turn that into a Flash story. So Wally tells him that because they're in his mind, he has complete control. He can fight DeVoe with all of his memories, everyone he's ever known. So it's like this super speedster Matrix team up, but it's all happening in Wally's mind. So you have Ginger Wally West from earlier in his timeline punching him here. So I don't know if the Flash TV show would ever get quite as trippy as that, but you'd have to imagine Barry making his own version of the Speed Force Wormhole Aliens set where he just conjures anything that he wants to fight DeVoe. But I don't think they're going to do an episode of The Matrix because that was very contemporary back in 2002, but nowadays it feels kind of silly. But it is a pretty badass twist. I'm going to pull you into my mind and you're going to have to fight every single speedster that I've ever met. And then there are a couple big action set pieces, like you see Wally have to repair a bridge, but in order to do that, he has to go read all these books on construction at super speed, then rebuild the bridge as this is all falling apart. You've seen all those episodes of The Flash where they do the big vista, the bridge that connects Keystone and Central City. This was the Flash story where Wally West built that bridge, permanently connecting them, and like he says here, permanently under my protection. So it's not something you think about when you see big maps like this of the city on the TV show, but that was actually a big Flash story that rose out of the connecting of Central City and Keystone City. Central City being Barry Allen City, Keystone City being Wally West City. And then later, Wally and Linda find out that they're pregnant. So obviously there's like a lot of big things that the Flash TV show could pick from a storyline like this, but it just depends on what they want the Thinker to look like. Like, do they actually want him to be a digital person? That would be really weird to not have somebody that you couldn't punch in the face at least a little bit, so there'll probably be a combination of things. But you have a situation where DeVoe is at both times controlling the rogues and fighting them himself. So like this season on The Flash, he worked with Captain Cold. You've seen times when they fought each other. There's all manner of crazy things they can do, and that doesn't even get into the Gorilla Grodd version of the Suicide Squad. What a coincidence that we're fighting somebody with mind control abilities. Wouldn't it be helpful if we had somebody who also had mind control abilities that could help us out with that? So that's just your back door to Gorilla Grodd doing a Captain Cold type twist where he's forced to work with Team Flash for his freedom or for whatever bargain it is that he wants to make. We'll have to do some Grodd Caitlin videos this summer. Caitlin's one of the only people that he would actually be really nice to, so maybe Caitlin will help convince him to help out Team Flash. But it's a really good opportunity to do a giant rogues-based story with a villain that's able to work with them, but you can also bring back all the old favorites too. So you can do your Grodd episode, you can even do Reverse Flash, but it doesn't have to be the main villain. But because the main goal of DeVoe in the comics, like this Geoff Johns story, was just to expand his processing power to the minds of everybody everywhere. Like he literally wanted to become everything because he transcended his physical body. It's like that really bad Johnny Depp movie Transcendence. They're probably not going to do that on the TV show. But let me know, what do you guys want them to do with the DeVoe character? Which version do you want him to look like? Do you want him to be the cyberspace version? Do you want him to be the New 52 version with all those crazy nodules sticking out of his brain? Or do you think he's just going to look like a normal person with a bunch of tech? So either way, just really surprised that they're dropping all this information so early. But what's happening later tonight is I'm going to see Wonder Woman again. I'll probably be posting a couple more videos for that in the next couple of days. So I'll do like a video for the ending, explain how it ties in with Justice League, all the Easter eggs, so be sure and go see it. But I'll announce a new winner for the Flash Ring giveaway when I post that next video. So while you wait for that, click here for my non-spoilery Wonder Woman review, and you can click here for all my Season 4 videos. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.